One click is all it takes to lose everything.
We are in a cyber war. You can either be a defendant or you could be a victim.
Cyber insurance might not be providing the protection that you think it is. Now, don't get me wrong, cyber insurance could be a good thing, but it only is a good thing if it actually pays out when you have a breach. Let me let you in on a little secret. Insurance companies don't want to pay out on every policy. If an insurance company paid out on every single policy they write, they would go out of business. They would go out of business a long time ago, because I'll tell you, if they go in and just wrote somebody a $5 million life insurance policy and that person gave them $10,000 and a week later they have to pay out, that's a bad investment. They got $10,000, they had to pay $5 million. You do that 20 or 30 times and you're out of business pretty quickly. So I will tell you, insurance companies write their policies very specifically to make sure they only have to pay out when there actually is an unavoidable problem in which you did everything you were supposed to. But if you make mistakes, if you make issues, they're going to go in and try to say the policy is null and void and they're not going to want to pay out. And that's exactly what I've seen happen with cybersecurity. Cybersecurity insurance policies have a lot of specifics in there that most companies are not doing and they don't realize it. I'll give you an example. I just recently read one of my clients like, Eric, this cyber insurance wasn't expensive at all. I got a $10 million policy for $50,000 a year. This is awesome. And I read the policy. And the policy said that this policy will only pay out if every server in the organization is patched within 15 days of the patch coming out. Which means if this client got breached, all the insurance company would have to do is find one server that's missing a patch for more than 15 days, and they can claim the policy is null and void. Let me help you out here. Any organization of any size, heck, my company, I bet you can find one server that's missing a patch, because guess what? It's not being used for anything. But the problem is the policy still said that. So you want to make sure you're real careful with the language and make it realistic. Now, here's my experience. If you go in and make the cybersecurity policy realistic, so you have it say, we're not going to patch, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, the policy will be so ridiculously expensive, you won't be able to afford it. So in my experience, the problem we have today with cyber insurance is you're either paying for the basic policy that's not going to pay out because you're not actually doing that, or you make the policy realistic, but it's way too expensive. I'm not saying cyber insurance is bad. Insurance companies are great. They provide a great service. I have a lot of insurance in my life, but I'm just saying make sure you fully recognize what you're getting. If you're going to sign up for cyber insurance with your company, make sure you have your technical folks review it, analyze it, and make sure it's realistic. Because there's no sense getting a policy that has no chance of paying out. Simple example is if you're an avid smoker and you go and get a life insurance policy and you tell them you don't smoke so you can get a lower rate. That's stupid. Because if you died, they would very quickly be able to find out that you smoked and they wouldn't pay the policy. So being an avid smoker and getting a life insurance policy stating you don't smoke is stupid. Pay the extra money saying you're a smoker, or don't get the insurance, but don't knowingly get insurance that's not going to pay. And that's what most companies are naively doing with cyber insurance. They're saying that they don't have good security, but then they have a policy that expects a high level. Make sure your cyber insurance policy is realistic so it will pay out, so you have the proper protection. Do the research, ask the questions, and like I said, I'm not picking on insurance. I just want to make sure you're protected.